Good morning. We're going to start off with some singing today. This is our last week. We're going to sing This Joy. So I encourage you to have some fun with it and off-road and sing your own thing, add some harmonies, go wild. For the text today, any suggestions? Anyone have a word they would like to sing about today? What's that? This fun? Oh, the sun. Yeah, the sun. It's a beautiful day. The sun. I heard fun. I liked that too. Let's start with, we'll do joy first, maybe, then sun. Any other ideas? Oh, I heard too many at the same time. Something over here? It's either everyone at once or nobody. Spring. And let's end with love, because that's a good one to end on. So joy, sun, spring, love. We'll see if I can get them in the right order. All right. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This sun that I have, the world didn't give it to me. No, no, this sun that I have, the world didn't give it to me. No, no, this sun that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Spring, this spring that I have, oh, the world didn't give it to me. This spring that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This spring that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Love, this love that I have, oh, the world didn't give it to me. This love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Oh, the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Some nice bells there too, thank you.
Bonjour tout le monde. Hi, good morning. Welcome everyone to the First Unitarian Congregation of Ottawa. Whether you are here in Worship Hall or watching from home, you are welcome. I'm Chris, your worship associate this morning. Reverend Eric is taking some family time today. We acknowledge that our FirstU campus is located on traditional, unsurrendered, and unceded Algonquin Anishinaabe territory, and that the work of reconciliation is the responsibility of our congregation and of all Canadians. Our goal is to educate ourselves and all those who have the willingness to understand, to be of service to those who are at risk, and to advocate for justice. Let's join our voices in song once more. We please rise in body or in spirit as we sing together We Are, which is 1051 in our teal hymnal. Our lyrics will also be on the screen above. So this morning we have a special guest. We are welcoming the Reverend Mwibutsa back among us. We had known him as Reverend Fulgence. He'll speak to us about that change, about that name change, shortly. Reverend Mwibutsa first came to Canada in 2016 after escaping Burundi. He was serving a Unitarian congregation in Bujumbura when, in 2015, the congregation was attacked with grenades and bullets. A month later, he was kidnapped, tortured, and jailed. He was only released after a strong pressure on the government by Unitarian Universalists around the world. While in Canada, Reverend Mwibutsa continued to gather support for refugees who have now grown from the initial church members and friends of church members to many other refugees. To facilitate these efforts in Rwanda, a Canadian charity was set up, Chalice International. It supports education and small business projects as well as emergency assistance. He sees his ministry as that of providing hope when hope is hard to find. Reverend Mwibutsa also serves La Communauté Sans Frontières Unitarienne Universaliste, a global online community en français. He has recently moved from Saskatoon to Ottawa, where he lives with his family, Therese and Well Brown. Reverend Mwibutsa, welcome back. We're honored to have you with us once more, and now we will light the chalice together. Do we have a helper? Anyone want to help light the chalice? Yeah, you want help? Okay.
We light our chalice from this morning to these words by Cherry Woodbury. Welcome all who seek renewal in a weary world. Welcome all who come with love and the energy to share. Welcome to those who worry for the future. Welcome each one who is grateful for today. Know that in this place, you are not alone. In community, we share our strength with one another, and we keep the flame of love burning bright. Know that in this place, responsibility is shared. Here, tradition holds us, ancestors shine a light from the past. Here, the young lift their bright faces and beckon us onward. Take my hand, and we can go on together. Our chalice is lit. Come, let us worship together.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jody McIntosh. I'm the Director of Religious Exploration, and I have a story for you this morning. And I invite all those young and young at heart to join me at the front if you feel comfortable doing so. So I have a few friends at the front, and I have a question for you, okay? It's like a little game. So I have a question. I'm thinking of an animal. It's very big, usually gray, has huge floppy ears, and a long trunk. You can call it out. Elephant, you're right, it is an elephant. Now imagine if every time we wanted to talk about an elephant, and we had to describe it all over again. Hey, look at that big gray creature with floppy ears and a long nose. That would get really tiring really fast, wouldn't it? Yeah. Instead, we can just call this animal by its name, elephant. Well, names are like shortcuts for things and for people. They save us a lot of time and confusion. Imagine if none of us had names. Every time someone wanted to get your attention, they would have to say, "Hey, you, the one with the brown hair." And you would look around and go, are you talking to me, or them, or the person next to me? How would you know they meant you? And that's where our story begins. It's all about a name, or names. Imagine a giant ancient tree with branches reaching out in all directions. Each branch represents a family, and on those branches are countless leaves. That's us. Our names are like little tags on those leaves telling a story about who we are and where we came from. Some names, like mine, are like new shoots on the family tree. My parents chose Jody because they love the sound of it, not necessarily for a specific meaning or a family tradition. But that's perfectly okay. My name holds significance nonetheless. It's the name my friends use to greet me, and the one that brings a familiar comfort when someone I care about needs me. It's like a unique new leaf, ready to write its own story within a grand narrative of our family. In contrast, my brother's name is like a sturdy branch on our family tree. He shares the name of my dad, who in turn shared it with his father before him, who shared it with his father before him. They passed down names. These passed down names are like sturdy branches, carrying the weight of generations and connecting us to our ancestors. They're a powerful reminder of our family history, a way to honor those who came before us and a symbol of the legacy we carry forward. Other names are like beautiful, vibrant flowers that bloomed on the family tree before us. Maybe our names mean sunrise, a symbol of new beginnings, or perhaps it's a strong name like warrior, passed down from a brave ancestor. These names connect us to something bigger than ourselves, reminding us that we're part of a long and fascinating family history. But sometimes, just like a leaf, can change color in autumn, a name might not feel like quite the right fit anymore. Maybe you've grown into someone completely different from what your name suggests. Or perhaps you were named after a character in a story you no longer like. Or maybe, like some people, you realize your gender identity doesn't quite match the name you were given. So you choose a new name that better reflects who you now are. So the next time you hear your name, take a moment to appreciate it. It might be a brand new leaf full of possibilities, a vibrant flower blooming, a sturdy branch full with family history, or a leaf that may one day change its color. Remember, our names are like the leaves on a giant tree, unique and ever-changing, but always a special part of who we are. So I invite you to sing the children on their way, and as per our tradition, to create an arch for us as we go down to our classes. Thank you.
We don't have any specific centering words this morning, but I will still remind you that as health challenges continue, to please take care and to take advantage of online opportunities at FirstU to stay in touch. If you're new to FirstU and would like to learn more about us, you can contact us via email at welcome@firstunitarianottawa.ca. If you're right here in Worship Hall with us this morning and would like more info, we have a welcome table at the back of the pews. And now we have Mary Ella from our board to highlight some announcements for today.
Thanks, Chris. Good morning, everyone. So, annual report submissions are due this Friday. This is an opportunity for committees, teams, and any group who wishes to report. They're asked to describe their 2023 activity. This is a great reference and a way for people who are new to the congregation and those who've been around for a while to find out what everybody is doing. Also, next Sunday, there is a spirituality, T-E-A, gathering at 1:30 p.m. to nurture our personal spiritual journeys in a safe and non-judgmental way. Register for this by Friday. Now, there's 2 events where registration has closed because they're full. Next Sunday's drumming workshop and the 3-session workshop on accessing your inner knowing, which, by the way, will begin on Monday, April 15th, not Tuesday. On Saturday, this coming Saturday, April 13th, at 5:30, there will be a benefit concert here in Worship Hall to raise funds for the Ukrainian children who were kidnapped and taken to Russia and who are experiencing many psychological and other issues upon their return home. The performers will be Ukrainian musicians on piano and violin, and they'll be playing music by Ukrainian conductors. You can get tickets by Googling Spring of Hope, Ottawa. We are still urgently seeking 1 or 2 people to lead our next annual Fall Fair coming up in November. As you probably know, the Fall Fair is a major fundraiser and community builder for our congregation. Outgoing Director Carol Card will be happy to provide details and lots of support. Please contact Carol or the office if you'd like more information. And finally, a quick reminder that there will be an amazing spring concert with all 3 choirs and the house band on Sunday evening, April 28th, right here in Worship Hall. Admission is by donation. Invite your friends. Next week, we'll have posters for you to take home and put up everywhere you go. And finally, the FirstU AGM will be held on Sunday, May 5th after fellowship hour. Child care will be provided for both the concert and the AGM. We encourage you to sign up to receive the EUU, our weekly email newsletter. Check our Facebook and Instagram pages and our website for notices and updates. Our calendar continues to be as full as ever, with activities both online and in person. This morning, each of us is welcome. We of any heritage or faith, whatever our burdens, of any culture or race, of any gender or orientation, in any body, all that we are. Today, we are all part of this spiritual community. Welcome.
Thanks, Mariella. Each week we pause in our time together in recognition of joys and sorrows in our lives and across the globe. We honor our celebrations and our challenges by placing a stone in a bowl of water. As the ripples extend outward, we can imagine them continuing beyond these small bowls, out through and past our pews, and out into the larger community. We don't have any specific joys or sorrows today, so I will add a few. I know we like to start off with a joy if possible, so I will add a stone of joy for all the music that we get to enjoy in our congregation. Really looking forward to the concert. I'll add a stone of good luck for all the university students who have exams in April, including my own university student kids. And I will also add a stone for Reverend Eric, for his wife Anne, and for members of their family. We'll put a big stone for the whole world, really needs it right now. And now I'll invite everyone to come forward to honor your own joys and sorrows by placing a stone in the water. And I added one final stone for any of the joys and sorrows that remain unspoken in our hearts today. We do have one caring card that's going to be at the back for everyone to sign. We encourage you to sign a caring card for people, even if you don't know them. It's just a lovely way to express that they are part of our caring community here. This week's card is for Betty Gorman, who is a spouse to member Ian Gorman. Although Betty's not a member, she is, I've been told, a staunch member of the Knitters group. So I guess they are helping care for her. As last I heard, there weren't any visitors allowed at the hospital. She's been there for a few days with an infection, but I'm sure someone in the Knitters group can let you know when there might be visitors if you're interested. So please sign the card for Betty if you're able to. I'll invite you now into a time of stillness and reflection. After several moments, Jen will bring us back together with the gift of music.
When we look at the world events today, watch, listen, and read the news, it's easy to feel powerless. It's easy to wonder from where to begin, and sometimes we rightly feel stuck and maybe angry. Yet, the community like this one is the antidote of this powerlessness. Our personal small acts and the acts of other people put together can move mountains. With other people, we can expand our worldview and gain new perspectives. And together, our actions can be more impactful. There is, however, an important aspect that is often overlooked. It is what moves us, what motivates us, the reason we wake up early and go to bed late, the values we stand for, values that we are prepared to live by and die for. This morning, I will share my experience of crafting an identity that helps me a little bit navigate a difficult world, and my conviction that we can all keep going by living our various identities, practicing constant new beginnings, never betraying our values, and in the process, experience growth. For more than a year now, I have been going through a process of name change, essentially deepening my spiritual identity my connection to my ancestors and my roots. I can tell you it has been quite a journey. I was given a name by my parents, Ndagijimanayiburundi, and Fulgence by missionaries who baptized me. I, my parents, my friends, and my neighbors can relate to Ndagijimanayiburundi. They know what it means. Very few can really relate to Fulgence, which is a foreign name that no one knows the meaning of in a culture in which names are powerful. They carry a message to the person who carries the name, to the community, and the people, the parents, who chose the name. The process got more meaningful by virtue of me being away from home here in Canada. And while navigating this new culture and appreciating its beauty, in a way it gave me the opportunity to appreciate fully my Burundi and African cultures as well. And it dawned on me that cultural alienation is real, and it takes a lot from us. It robs from us the capacity to drink from a familiar and natural source and relate to our fellow human beings from a place of stability and enough. In Burundi, where I was born and grew up, most traditional religious practices are either illegal or looked down upon by Christianity, which, in its failure to incorporate and embrace most cultural elements, is frightened by often the traditions that it is trying to live in. The message is shared with people who are essentially invited to deny themselves in the process of living their faith. In my tradition, the name is given, as I said earlier, by parents, and it always has a meaning. It's not just because it sounds nice. The meaning that relates to who the person is or the person is hoped, expected to be. And when you grow up, you can get another name, maybe because you are a good hunter, maybe because you are a generous person, a testimony to skills or character. And when you are an adult, you can also give yourself a name, a life mission name. You decide who you want to be in the world, what your role is to be in the world, what you want your life to mean for you, for others, and that is expressed in a name. Thinking or believing that I was an adult, I decided to give myself a name and to clarify my last name. My chosen name is now Mwibutsa, Mwibutsa for short, the one who reminds people to do good and be kind. Many of Burundian names have mana, like the one Ndagijimanayiburundi, God, in them. But Christianity and Islam, now the dominant religions, think that the mana is the Muslim or the Christian God. I clarified that the mana in my name is the God of our ancestors. At the very least, their understanding of God, whatever it may be. These seemingly small things have larger implications. It is a life mission that I have chosen to live and be inspired by. To live a life that is geared towards others, because life can only have a meaning, really, in the community. New beginnings, or a renewed focus on what already exists, can be needed for more than just names and traditions. And in a way, this is for all of us. They speak to our spiritual or our growth as humans. Maybe there is a conversation you have dreaded to have for so long. Maybe there is a project you have postponed for so many times. Maybe relationships that we have refused to let go or to embrace. All those are new beginnings that can need to be looked at and faced with hope and determination. New beginnings are both a statement of who we are and who we need or want to be. When the person we are, who behaves and acts in a certain way, need to relate differently, we have an opportunity to open up for something new and different. New beginnings are lived in community, and the community is helpful in nurturing and support various identities. That's what a Unitarian Universalist community is expected or can play as a role as well. When we think about difficult and complicated issues, maybe issues some of us have worked for our lifetimes with no result to show for, or even worse, a reversal of what we have thought was secured for good. It can be difficult to get motivated, to stay focused. Should we again continue to work for peace when we don't see progress? When wars and the rumors of war is what all we hear? Can we continue to work for reconciliation when divisions keep increasing? Can we continue to work for climate change awareness and action when the opposing forces seem to be powerful and the environmental catastrophe seems to be closer and closer? Should we continue to work to eradicate poverty when the work seems unending? Every time I visit refugees, I get overwhelmed by the need and the misery. If flaming Chalice International can help 50 or 100 among the hundreds of thousands in need, is it worth it? I sometimes ask myself. But I get satisfaction that the work is worth the efforts, regardless of how many people are served. But I am aware of the limitations. And in a meaningful way, community again is the answer. We believe that one does whatever needs to be done, and when his part is done, the next people will continue the work. And it takes off our shoulders the need or the expectation to change the world just on our own. Because we need to believe in the power of community, in the collective power of all those who want to do good in the world and in our communities. And why do we keep trying? Why don't we give up? Why do we still risk instead of being safe and cozy and go get our hands dirty? And that's where a strong case of what keeps us going is posed. And I think the motivation for us people of faith and goodwill is the values we stand for. We have discovered our values we want to stand for, and we decided to live by them. When we do something just for the sake of doing it, because we believe we are doing the right thing, we have found a reason to wake up early and go to bed late over and over again. The values we stand for as Unitarian Universalists are the core of our identity. As a part of who we are, we respect and value the people. We as a faith community encourage individuals in search for meaning without confining them in a predetermined box. And this helps us bring to life our identity and the other various identities as well. Values act like guideposts. They remind us of who we are, and they keep our hope alive. Without hope, it would be difficult to keep going and do things, especially when sometimes we don't see the results. In my work with difficult conditions and limited resources, I see my work as of providing hope when hope is hard to find. The person in need who sees others helped is reminded that all is not lost, that things could change. The person who gets encouragement may work harder and smarter to get out of the situations thanks to a supportive presence. Change happens when we do the right thing, one person at a time, one child at a time, one community at a time. All of us gathered here today, we serve the world in different ways. And whichever way we serve, if based on an identity that we can relate to, or even better, an identity we have participated in crafting, then we can follow our values as guideposts, create and provide hope. There are people who need fresh look from us. Maybe they need more understanding and less judgment. Maybe there are some boundaries that need to be set. And this fresh look relates to our identity because a new identity needs new parameters. What a joy it is to know that with necessary support from our community, from friends and partners, we can lead a life that is connected to who we are, a life that gives us the reality of operating from a space of joy, stability, peace, and hope. At the heart of all we do is the liberating power of love. In small acts and big ones, all those acts can eventually bring about the change that we all work for. That love has been expressed many times by this community, by helping Flaming Chalice International do its work with the refugees, and we thank you for that. This year is the 10th anniversary of the Tabare Foundation that I and other people founded to carry out the social justice work of the Unitarian Church in Bujumbura back in 2014. It is the same foundation that implements Flaming Chalice International projects in Burundi. I had been back to Burundi twice in 2022 and 2023. And I plan to go back again next week to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the foundation and refocus the work of that foundation on children. When the Tabare Foundation was founded 10 years ago, it was an invitation to all concerned to hit the call, sometimes a call of distress, and commit to respond. The name the Tabare has two meanings depending how it is pronounced. It can mean help us or let's help. Its initial mission was to serve vulnerable children through education, health care, and income-generating activities for their parents or guardians. The 2015 chaos refocused the projects, and we mostly worked with refugees. We are now at the point when we need to refocus on children again, to support education, health care, and fund and income-generating activities for people, the adults, who take care of the children. This project needs $3,000 to support 12 families and 60 children. That's what we are aiming to raise today. On behalf of all the people whose lives have been changed, thank you. It is also important to see the connection between hope and love. Whatever we do, it begins from a place of thoughtful belief that what we are working for is likely to happen, in full or in part, sooner or later, in our lifetime, or maybe to be continued by some other people who will come after us. This is the liberating power of love expressed in constant efforts of loving again and again and hoping again and again. An identity expressed in our values for a life that builds a hopeful world. That is your call and mine. Amen and blessed be.
The piece that Three Rivers, thank you, will be singing today is called Family Tree. It's an arrangement of two different folk songs by Canadian composer Stephen Hatfield. You'll hear the beginning and the ending of the song is from the perspective of someone looking back and telling the story of their ancestors as they crossed to a new place and to start over anew. And in the middle, you'll hear instead a lovely lullaby, and that is the great-great-grandmother singing to the baby as she's crossing. This will feature Mariella Kablusek on guitar as well as Three Rivers. And while it does end on a little bit of a downer, maybe, a little sad, but I hope that you'll take from it an acknowledgement of both the hardships of starting over again, but also the possibility and the opportunity and the hope that it brings and the beauty of it. So thank you.
She had to flee
Thank you so much, Three Rivers. I'll invite the ushers to start passing the baskets at this time. And this morning, as mentioned, we will be dedicating our entire offering to Reverend Mwibutsa's organization, Flaming Chalice International. I'm sure we'll be able to let you know after the fact if we did meet that goal of 3,000 and helping 60 children, 12 adults, I believe. So we'll keep you posted. With the support of those across Canada and beyond, Flaming Chalice aids refugees in Burundi and Rwanda, providing education, small business projects, microloans, and emergency family support. Please be as generous as you can to help support this necessary work. Once we conclude the offering, we are going to be singing our closing hymn, which is number 413 in the gray hymnal, Go Now in Peace. We will have choir members that will be helping us with our rounds. Do you want to explain that a little bit? Yeah, there we go.
So our closing hymn is a round, which means you're going to be singing it at different start times. We have divided the choir into 3 groups. Group number 1 is here. If you want to come up, group number 1 and stand at the front. Group number 2 is in the middle. And group number 3 is on the end here. So if you're sitting in this chunk of seats, you are 1. In the middle, you're 2. The end, you are 3. We'll sing it once through everybody at the same time, just to get a sense for the melody. And then after that, you can follow your helpful choristers at the front to know when to come in.
So a couple quick reminders before we extinguish the chalice. Reminder that folks who are watching online can also make a donation to Flaming Chalice International instead of giving the usual donation to the finance manager by e-transfer or by going online to the website and looking for that finance tab. You can add a message that says it's going to Flaming Chalice International. Thanks. I also wanted to mention, unfortunately, the carrying card for Betty is not here this week apparently, but will be available next week. So, before we begin to close this time of worship and reflection, coffee hour will begin in Fellowship Hall immediately after the service. If you are new here, still feel new, or simply welcome conversation, please pick up a green mug as you enter Fellowship Hall. Doing so will help others looking forward to good conversation find you. We still have lots of leafy greens, courtesy of the good folks of Ajashki, available for those who would like some. They're in the Grow Towers in the old volunteer room near Fellowship Hall. We will extinguish our chalice this morning to these words by Kathy Huff. You've got them? Yes.
Our time in this place may have ended, but our connection to each other and this community remains. Together, may we walk the path of justice, speak words of love, live the selfless deed, to look gently upon the earth and fill the world with compassion.
Thank you. And now Jen will lead us in our closing hymn, Spirit of Life.
For our benediction, I invite you to reach your hands out towards one another. As we prepare now to leave this space, may our hearts remain open and our minds remain clear. We are people of both reason and heart, of both memory and hope. May we also always remain people of love, providing a place in this world for our spirit, a place called home. As now we turn to the challenge of helping the world come alive in love, let us go forward in peace, my friends. Go in peace.